Good afternoon to all of you. Let me start by highlighting that I hope that you will join me in welcoming the results of the Climate Action Summit. And I want to be very clear, I'm very satisfied with the result, even though I know much more needs to be done. But I'm very satisfied because we were able to get a group of leaders, high-level participation, but also many other stakeholders on a stage, on a single stage. We had representatives of civil society, representatives of businessmen, youth that contribute very, very much to the success of this summit, indigenous peoples, etc. It was a very high level and very inclusive summit. It has been a summit on which we have asked everybody to come with plans, not with the speeches. And we asked them even to describe their plans before coming so that we could select the most ambitious plans to be presented at the summit. It has been a success also because there is a greater recognition of the emergency we are facing and the need to act, to be concrete. It has been an opportunity for many actors to come with concrete proposals, whether we are talking about the industry, whether we are talking about the cities, the nature. Certainly, we have paid a lot of attention not only to reducing emissions, but also to dealing with resilience and adaptation, which is a very important topic, especially for the least developed countries, the seeds, and I would say every country, because every country is facing increasingly the effects of hurricanes and natural disasters. It was also very important and very successful meeting in as much as it is an opportunity to launch what I would call kind of a roadmap to be able to get to the point we need by the end of next year. And I'm referring particularly to the commitments that all member states need to make to come next year with enhanced national determined contribution. That means the formal plans, the formal contribution of member states so that we can be on track. As you probably know, what we have today in terms of the commitments will still get us to a trajectory of at least 3 degrees increase in the coming century, and that would be a disaster. We need to maintain the increase in the temperature below 1.5 degrees, and to do that, we need to multiply what we are doing today. And that needs to be formally tabled, formally registered next year. If we add the contribution of all the stakeholders that I mentioned, I'm confident that we can get back on track. Another characteristic of this summit, which I think it is very important to highlight, is the fact that this is the beginning of a process on which the United Nations as a family has committed to do a follow-up. It's not just an occasion on which everybody came and present ideas and plans and then we wait. No. This time we will not be waiting. We will be doing the follow-up of each of the initiatives that has been introduced. We will keep putting pressure on all the member states to do as much as they can, and certainly we will need to focus on the major emitters and those that may become major emitters in the near future if they do not change their trajectories. It is quite important that we use the good offices of the Secretary General and all the UN family to do this process, or to speed up and encourage action, but also to support the action, that especially when it comes to developing countries, that they not only identify the solutions that are available, but they have the necessary financial and technical support that they may require to translate those projects into concrete actions. It is going to be a very strict follow-up, and certainly we will be in a position, we hope to be in a position to report progress on the outcome of the summit. As soon as we get to Santiago, the Secretary General has already announced that he will be participating at that meeting and reporting. And from there, we need to look into what needs to be done in 2020. There are a number of events which are important. We need to make the linkage very clearly with other SDGs objectives, with other conventions on the climate and environmental field. And we need, obviously, also to be aware that if we do not get to the necessary level of ambition that is required, additional efforts will need to be done because there is no plan B, because there is no options. We need to do it. Let me just end highlighting how important it is to be aware that climate is one of the 17 SDGs. It's not a separate agenda. It's not a conflicting agenda. Fighting poverty, getting better health, etc., is also part of the agenda on the climate change. We cannot and we should not accept that there are 2, 3 agendas for development. There is only one. And in that sense, one of the elements of the summit, which is also very important, is the recognition that there is a transition that would be needed, that we need to look into the questions of the rights of workers and the health of the people, and not to impose taxes on them, but to do it in a way in which we will certainly focus on the major, those that contaminate, those that need to pay the price or the biggest price, and we need to continue to look for a decarbonized economy that will bring benefits to the people, because every effort has to be centered on the well-being of humanity. Thank you very much for your attention.